Hey guys, I'm JDarb. I'm going to be casting a game for the JDarb, a promo for the JDarb Invitational. And in the top right, we have the Terran player Skywarp. It looks like he's a gold Terran, I think, and Recoil, a silver Protoss. Recoil will be playing in the JDarb Invitational here in another week and a half. And we're looking for a good showing. He's really into it. He likes his micro, and we'll see how it pans out for him. So it wouldn't surprise me that much if he were to start with a cannon rush, but it looks like he's not going to. He is, however, sending this probe over pretty early. On the other hand, Skywarp is being very straightforward. He has a second barracks come up pretty fast, so I guess that he's going to be going bio. It surprises me to not see a expansion out yet, but maybe he's just wanting to take things a little bit safer. We have Recoil coming in to check things out. I guess also there's a supply depot queued up here. Oh shit, Skywarp. I think that is the thing. Like he really wants that second barracks to kind of guarantee that he's not going to have any issues with any cheesy play. He locks him in and takes him down, and he's immediately going to queue up several Marines. He raises this bunker, and is he just going to make a wall here? I guess so. We'll see how long it'll take before he expands, but it doesn't matter a whole lot. Mike is not expanding either. He goes to check out to see if his natural's occupied, but it not being occupied is pretty okay. So Skywarp does start his command center at his natural. Is he taking full advantage? It looks like he is pumping out some Marines. We'll see what he leads into following this. Maybe he's just gonna get a big ball of Marines. He's setting up a reactor. What else can he get into? So Recoil comes in with a what's it called? Twilight Council. Grabs his Twilight Council. We'll see what kind of tech he goes for immediately. Guarding this base, getting his natural up a little bit later. But and I guess he is also a little bit behind in workers. I could see that this is something that he definitely needs to keep tabs on. I mean, technically, like, he is saturated here, but you can use those workers immediately at your base when it comes up, right? So you want to be getting them as soon as possible. He takes an alternative path to the Stargate. We'll see what kind of thing he takes advantage of. Skywarp continues to produce Marines. Just here we are with his late factory. Also no orbital command out of this, but we'll see it soon, hopefully. He is pretty consistently pumping out workers. Well, I say that, but that must not be true. He needs a few more at his main. He needs to be constantly producing at his main. But between he and Recoil, they're going at about the same pace. It looks like he's going for glaives and an oracle and +1. It would not surprise me if he is planning to head on over once the glaives finish, and like it is the right call against these Marines. The Marines are going to be able to do well against the Oracle, but the Oracle is also going to be able to do well against Marines. So we'll see how it works out. That Oracle jumps on out the map. I will get better at this one day, and I'll be able to, you know, like actually have it follow along. But my casting skills and my my observing skills need a little bit of work in addition to my in-game skills. But that's why we're here, right? This is the second game that I've casted so far. It's pretty exciting. Skywarp, burying that Widow Mine out front will hopefully help him deal with any kind of aggression. But not with this. Recoil likes bunching up a couple of oracles, which is pretty understandable against... I know against Protoss you want to do this because of shield batteries. A single oracle can have a little bit of difficulty in taking out workers if there's a shield battery present, but I don't have any clue how important it is against Terrans. Also, I wonder if he knows if you click twice real fast. I think that this is a thing on a worker or on a target. It will cause them to fire real fast. Oh, he's going for some harassment in the form of a stasis ward, but doesn't get it off before it blows up. So he'll go ahead and put it somewhere else. We'll see how many. Well, I guess he's not going to get anything. Skywarp looking to take this third real secret-like. I don't know if a third is in the cards for Recoil, but I guess we'll find out. He does have a pretty good stack of adepts here and stalkers, both of which will eliminate Marines pretty effectively. And they are at the same, almost the same supply, so I think an engagement could go either way. Tanks will do pretty well against stalkers and adepts, but he only has the one out here at the moment. This secret third is getting set up, and we'll see if he actually gets any workers down to it. There's not a whole lot of aggression from either side at this point. Not that I think that Skywarp would be a little bit hard to penetrate at this time. Like if the Widow Mines don't get you, and if the bunkers don't get you, and if the tanks don't get you, and if the Marines don't get you, then yes, you could do something. But he has missile turrets covering each of his bases, each of his mineral lines, and that'll help him out a good bit. He does need... Maybe he's just... Oh, he used his gas workers to build his starports. He's going for a fusion core real fast, so I guess that he's just going into mass BC production, which is not a bad idea. BCs are pretty robust and very mobile, but he could use a fourth to help with that economy, because these minerals are all getting, well, most of them are getting pretty low, and they'll be mined out in a near enough future. Recoil is moving out with this force. It is pretty good looking, I guess, in that, you know, he'll be able to make decent effectiveness out of these void rays, particularly if he just walks them over this way, right? Taking out a tech lab or a starport or even just like getting a supply block would be pretty fantastic at this point, but Recoil is kind of trying to help out Skywarp in supply blocking himself, so you know he doesn't have to work that hard. Skywarp and Recoil could both use a good bit more workers. He does have, let's see if he saw, he didn't see that, but pretty soon he barely misses the edge of that base, but he runs into this one, the would-be fourth, and knocks it out. That's a whole lot of minerals that got he's terrified of this one tank. I mean, it's not a bad way to be, but I do wonder if he would be able to get more, if he would be able to just get past it. I mean, he does have Tempests, right? So this army looks pretty good with regards to, if he gets into an engagement that can take advantage of this positioning, that's pretty good layout. I guess we'll see how it goes. I wonder if he's hoping to catch an army that's moving out down through the middle. He would, but they aren't. Skywarp is just hanging into, oh, you know what? It just hit me. He might be naming himself after battle cruisers because they're in the sky and they can warp. I wouldn't be that surprised if he just takes this and sits it down in this mineral line, but there are a couple of cannons here. I mean, like, a cannon is not a big deal, right? But several cannons might be. That air army is gonna walk right over these widow mines. Skywarp sees this group out here and just says, we ain't having none of your shit. We're just going to, you're in the air, we can shoot the air, we'll get ya. They do have remarkably similar, I am remarking on it, they have remarkably similar supply and recoil. I do wonder about the zealots he's grabbing. Oh, I'm guessing that he's expecting there to be a base here, to just go and work on the mineral line, but there's not. It would break my heart if he just walks into a couple of these widow mines, and I think there's a decent chance that he will. I'm really surprised that there's all this posturing, right? But there's no actual aggression coming out of these guys. I say that right at that second. Look at that timing. Those BCs are no match for these Tempests and Void Rays. He is going to send them to here. Oh man, that is a blunder. But I guess this is the way it'll be. Recoil's just saying, come get me. And Skywarp, I don't know if he's not paying attention or if he's just rightfully saying, yes, I can beat the crap out of your army. I mean, not this whole army by any means, right? But he can beat up a large part of them with just these guys. And it would be really nice if Skywarp would just like back up, let his bunkers and his widow mines do some of the work. But it looks like he's getting along with this. That battle cruiser jumps all the way back, you know, 5 feet. But do what you got to. He is laying into Recoil's army even still. So we'll see how production is doing for both of these guys. Recoil goes back to see he needs a couple of zealots produced, these guys. Skywarp is doing a very good job, considering, of keeping some units in the oven. It looks like all of his buildings are firing except for his factory. I mean, a couple of Thors would not be a bad idea. They're pretty easy to handle. I mean, you don't have to do anything with them, right? Except tell him attack in that direction. So there's that. Every engagement that he doesn't use these tanks or these bunkers or these widow mines means that he's missing out on that much supply, and there is a pretty healthy difference that between he and Recoil. Recoil is doing a pretty good in spending his resources and his upgrades. He's got 3 weapons already for the ground, so that is super nice. Whereas Skywarp is sitting on 1-1 bio, which, you know, most of his army is bio. Recoil looks at that army and says, that's a bit too much, and I think he's probably about right, but they are bullying him a good bit. I'm interested to see where he goes. He just backs up, says, I need to get some minerals. Not a bad call. He is sitting at sub 200 supply, and man, if he would just, he could get so many Archons right now. He could get, what, 10 of them? Or no, 5 of them? They would do super well against this army. Provide a bit of meat shield for his army, but I guess see how it goes. Skywarp with max supply just says, alright, it's time to move in on the Protoss. I'm really impressed with how well he's doing. He's just able to walk right up here and mow everything down. I don't know why that is. Was it the mass that he had? It was just appropriate? Was it the battlecruisers doing work? This battlecruiser just now has 1 kill. This one has 8, but it is about over. So it's over right that second. So I don't know. Mike making these Tempests earn their keep. Sorry, I keep calling him Mike. Recoil's name is Mike, and he goes by Malamike in some places. So sorry about that. But you might have heard me say that. Skywarp brings in quite a bit of units. This could be game ending, but I don't know, man. This is silver and gold. This is a pretty intense matchup. Skywarp's I love this base that's been sitting down here for a while. It really could use some more workers. They never have got up to any critical mass of workers. You want to be around 75 before you stop, but I guess that they just decided that was enough. They do have so Skywarp has persistently around 14 more workers than Recoil, plus he has mules if he's using them, so I don't know how much we mind his workers sitting around. Similarly, this army, just think, if this was there at the time of heading out, it would just end everything. Like, it would just, it would be the end for Recoil. But we'll see if Recoil is able to turn this around. I hope that he is, but I did tell them to send me any replay that was interesting. Anything having a decent amount of action, anything unusual. Just as long as there was a little bit of uncertainty. And it didn't matter if they won or lost. So it very well could be going that direction. But he is going to be able to end this fourth again. Sorry, it is a fifth at this point, I guess. But Skywarp does get the cancel on him. Oh man, some storms here. Storms are micro heavy, right? You don't like, I don't want to suggest that that's the right thing to do at this level, but that would be so juicy. He's clearing out these rocks. I guess he's gonna take advantage of them at some point, but not yet. He needs to go take a base, another base. His main is entirely mined out, and his natural is getting there. So he's effectively sitting here on what, like half a base, a full base. He's just not mining there. He's putting as much aggression into Skywarp as he can muster, which seems to be working out pretty well. If he could get a large chunk of those workers, maybe. It looks like Recoil has built quite a lot of workers since then, and he is now, I can't say committing, I just saw one. He really loves Zealots, man. I love Zealots as well. Oh man, that GG comes. I just don't think that Skywarp knows how good of a position he was in. I certainly didn't expect the GG right there, but I guess Skywarp felt like, you know, his 600 minerals was not enough. It is worth noting Recoil's upgrades are pretty good. Skywarp's upgrades pretty good, got up to 2-2, but Recoil had 3-2-1. So anyway, I really think that Skywarp had a little bit more in him to give, but I guess that's just how it goes. Anyway, again, that was Recoil. He'll be showing up in the Jadarb Invitational, which is a tournament for people that I know that have not gotten into StarCraft that much or at all. We've given them a good amount of time to prepare, and hopefully it'll be a good showing. But I guess we'll see you in the next one.